Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Scott Burriss, Associate Professor of Performing Arts and Performing Arts Program Coordinator here at California State University, Channel Islands.
Hello, I'm Dr. KuanFen, Assistant Professor of Music in the Performing Arts Program and the Artistic Director of Channel Islands Chamber Orchestra and Choral Association.
As co-directors, we welcome you to the Fall 2020 Performing Arts Virtual Mainstage production.
The Channel Islands Orchestral Suite project.
Thank you for joining us.
We know there are many screens you could be watching these days, and we appreciate your choice to experience our unique and original virtual performance.
We acknowledge that this virtual production is taking place throughout the unceded territory of California, home to nearly 200 tribal nations. As we begin this event, we acknowledge and honor the original inhabitants of our various regions. Let's take a moment to honor these ancestral grounds that we are collectively gathered upon and support the resilience and strength that all Indigenous people have shown worldwide. Over the course of creating the performances you are about to see, we have been living and working across Southern California on the traditional unceded territories of the Chumash and Tongva people on the CSU Channel Islands campus in Camarillo, as well as in neighboring areas, Santa Paula, Newberry Park, Thousand Oaks, Mission Hills, and the San Fernando Valley, of the Kawia people in Riverside, and of the Yokut and Chumash peoples in Wasco. So what is the Channel Islands Orchestral Suite project? What you are about to experience is an integration of music, dance, theater, visual arts, and digital media arts. It's the culmination of 12 weeks of our program's production course, in which talented students from over half a dozen majors collaborated to research and create original and adapted performance elements set to the Channel Islands Orchestral Suite.
The musical portion of this project is the original composition of the Channel Islands Orchestral Suite, composed by Ashley Hoyer and premiered by the Channel Islands Chamber Orchestra in 2019.
We were fortunate to have the opportunity to take our students on a day trip to CI's Santa Rosa Island Research Station so we could experience firsthand what it's like to journey to one of these islands. Thanks to funding from the Instructionally Related Activities Board and the expert and determined guidance of Research Station Director Russell Bradley and Research Station Coordinator and Performing Arts Dance alum Aspen Cody, we had an illuminating trip and captured stunning images which will feature prominently in the show.
Throughout the semester, we were fortunate to meet and discuss various aspects about the islands with our 4 amazing guest speakers: Ashley Hoyer, composer; Bill Hoyer, Natural Resources Manager at the U.S. Navy; Julie Tumamide Stansley, Chumash Elder; and Dr. Jennifer Perry, anthropologist and professor at CSU Channel Islands. They have enlightened and inspired our students in both their understanding and their research of the islands. So much that we wanted you to hear directly from them as well. Before we get to the performances, please enjoy these brief interview segments.
Can you describe your relationship with the California Channel Islands?
Sure. I grew up in Southern California, and I always wondered about the islands, but I never visited them as a child. But as an adult, I was able to explore them, and I just became so inspired that I wanted to do something within my own profession and means and skill set to express that. And I was inspired to write the Channel Islands Orchestral Suite.
I began working on the Channel Islands in about 2010, and I was working on a botany program there. Since then to today, 2020, I am now an island manager, and I look after all the natural life on the island.
Haku. My name is Julie Tumamite Stansley. I live here in the Ojai Valley. I am a Chumash descendant, Chumash elder, storyteller, and educator. And I just am honored to be here with you today to talk a little bit about the Chumash background of my heritage. And for many people that are still here who have ancestry to the beautiful Channel Islands that we see in our Pacific Ocean here. It is on my father's side, Vincent Tumamite, where his family, both his parents are Chumash, so they both descend from the Channel Islands. His father's family from Santa Cruz Island, which back then we called Limu, meaning in the sea. And his mother's family was from Santa Rosa Island, which we call Wima, meaning pine. My father fished on the pier there in Ventura, and I'd look out to those islands, and I would just imagine who's there, who's on those places that we see on the clear days when you look out and you can see the greenery of the land. And I just always had this fascination. It wasn't until many years later I got to go out there and visit the island with a group of family, Chumash families, and it was amazing. We descend from many different villages there on Santa Cruz, and only a couple that we know of on Santa Rosa Island. But just going out there and knowing that our ancestry goes back those thousands of years of occupation here in North America, knowing that the oldest human remains in this region of North America comes from Santa Rosa Island, dating at 13,500 years. It's incredible.
Well, as a California native and a professional archaeologist, I've always been interested in human relationships with the environment through time, and especially how human values and decisions in the past shape how we perceive and value environments today. And my relationship with the Channel Islands began when I was an undergraduate, and I had an opportunity to take an archaeological field class out on San Clemente Island. I have been hooked ever since, and since then I've been involved with archaeological research on 7 of the 8 Channel Islands. I maintain a relationship, a long-term partnership with Channel Islands National Park, and I played an active role in the Santa Rosa Island Research Station. And between research and student field trips and other activities, I've spent the equivalent of about a couple of years out on the islands, and I love each of them in a different way. And among what makes them so incredible is that they're a global biodiversity hotspot, and they have evidence of more than 13,000 years of people inhabiting them.
How does a project like the Channel Islands Orchestral Suite help to bring awareness to the natural, cultural, historical, and archaeological phenomena that is the Channel Islands?
I think the Channel Islands Suite communicates in a different language than what is typically used to convey information about biology and archaeology and historical data. It uses sound, and it's an art form. And I think that communicates to a whole group of people, and even the same people, differently.
The arts have an incredible ability to impact on an emotional level. And my goal was to shape the piece around different aspects of the islands so that the audience not only experiences the music, but also gets to learn about the islands. And my hope is that the music and the subject matter will move the audience to learn more and get involved to protect and conserve the Channel Islands.
So this project is beautiful in many ways, that the influence that I believe sparks the soul, sparks the imagination. The music can reflect and will reflect all of that and hopefully entice people. If they haven't been out to the islands, it is a must-do trip to be able to go across that vast ocean and imagine the Chumash and their tomos and their plank canoes paddling over.
Well, I think that the project it's impressively interdisciplinary and holistic in its approach to understanding and celebrating the Channel Islands. The project acknowledges their deep and varied cultural and natural history, and it highlights this through knowledge and stories from different islands, different time periods, and different peoples. And further, and I think this is really important, is it does so in a way that's consistent with indigenous worldviews of and practices surrounding the Channel Islands, And by that, I mean that this project honors their human significance through performance, not unlike thousands of years of rituals that have been conducted on the islands.
And I'm hoping the music is going to reflect that just imagination and spark the mystery of what the Channel Islands are.
So it's really, I cannot overstate how important this kind of framing and storytelling about the islands is for our human valuing of them.
We have been completely humbled by the history, culture, and stories of the people of the Channel Islands, and by the incredible resilience and work ethic of our students.
Arts and performing arts have always been a healing balm during and after devastating events in history. Through the collaboration of this project during the current pandemic, we have been reminded about our shared community values, respecting each other, embracing diversity, and lifting each other up through challenging times.
In that spirit, enjoy the show.
Utas, Earth Mother, created my people. Santa Cruz Island, then called Lemieux. She took seeds from magic plant. Grew a people Chumash. Alshaopash, Hutash husband. Sky snake in Milky Way, otherwise known. Made lightning strike with his tongue. He sent fire, a bolt of lightning. Gift was kept alive. Chumash kept warm, ate good food. Condor was white, curious as bird go. Flew close to fire, see how good it was. Flew too close, was burned, turned from white. Now blackbird. Little white was left to remember. The people thrived. Alshaopa's gift was good. The people grew. Limu now crowded. More villages, more people. Noise was great. Hutash had it, all she could take. Loved her people. Needed more room. She got an idea. Place Chumash could grow. Atop the highest peak, she stretched out her hand. Rainbow Bridge appeared, stretched all the way to highest peak on mainland. Tismo, near Carpinteria, people will be safe. Just don't look down. Follow my lead, all will be well. Some looked down, sea and fog was swirling. Some got dizzy, and they fell. Hutash felt bad, told them to cross. Those that fell, she turned dolphin. Dolphins are Chumash, brothers and sisters. That day till this, the story carries on. The Rainbow Bridge.
There once was an island so beautiful, untouched, unbothered, fulfilled. One of many who were young at heart. A simple girl, only known by her tribe, but to one day be known by many. She did her deeds to contribute to her people, and in trade the island contributed to them. Life, growth, beauty, for to one day be set free. But alas, not her. Strong, she stood. She held the heart of the island within her hands. No thief, no hunter, no invader could take that from her. The handsome otters, stolen. Day by day, sun by sun, to protect what once was. Home, family, growth. She watched the shores in hope of revival, holding the duties of an entire village. Through the cycles she waits, uncertain of what's beyond. Faces of those she knew in the clouds. Their whispers heard in the embracing waves. She holds the duties to be the last on the island. Her new adventure, unfortunately, her last. The flame of the island to die with her, mourning. The island cries within its rushing winds, its eyes in the tearing fog, seeking what once was there. Waves shoving all those in its way, furious. No longer wielding its true power. Looted, abandoned, destroyed. Captured on its own land. It shrieks and cries, heard by all. Land reclaimed. Now only the most elite. But now, a new kind of kindle. Her story.
Being Chicano means living in between two worlds, sandwiched in between being Mexican and American, with neither label fitting quite right. You know what they say. You're too white to be Mexican and too brown to be American.
Without a homeland, how can you ever feel at home?
So, what's our solution? After finding out that the Channel Islands are missing from the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, get on the next boat to Catalina? Since when do we let dead white men pick our next course of action? I know, Mexicans signed it too, but come on. No one in that position of power was really down with La Causa. That treaty promised us our land, citizenship, and clarity. But we didn't get any of that. America wanted us so badly, and when they finally took us, they cast us out. Is what we want really on that island? When we step foot on land, will it suddenly feel like home? And does Atlan really exist so far away from what we already know? And what if it does? Do we move everything and everyone out here? It's a little ridiculous, isn't it? This place meant nothing to us before. It just feels like we're grasping onto anything that we can get our hands on. And something about this doesn't feel right. This place doesn't belong to us anymore. Claiming this island from Mexico or even Atlan only perpetuates the cycle of taking what isn't ours to begin with. Our search for belonging cannot come at the cost of someone else's livelihood. This occupation is just a band-aid. An attempt to cover the holes in our identity. But if we want to find a lasting cure for this ambiguity, I think it starts with getting to know ourselves and all of our short-sightedness. There are no clear instructions on how to be Chicano. But if there were, I'd like to think that they'd say that we should strive to be better than the people who came before us.
I am asleep and dreaming. All the while I'm falling into a darkness so deep, screaming for help, but I don't hear a peep. I finally hit the ground. Walking around in this darkness, I make no sound. Within the endless darkness, I see a dim light. The closer I get to the light, a figure appears. Turning my head as if to hear it speak, the figure beckons me to follow. As the light turns to a halo, it's almost too much to swallow. The figure ran into a small hole in a majestic tree. Without a second thought, I follow on my hands and knees. Reaching the end, I found myself standing on an island, looking out onto a deep blue sea shining like a diamond. Up in the sky, the sun shines bright. I soon realize that I was right. The island fox is known as the dream helper. Here on this island, I have never been happier.
The Channel Islands are known nationwide. They are biologically unique and, as a result, are visited by many researchers looking to understand and conserve the native populations. The islands have not always been visited for such considerate reasons. One of the animals that lives on the island of Santa Rosa is the island fox. It is a species which is endemic to the island, which is to say, they aren't found anywhere else. The thing about being truly unique is that it makes one vulnerable. To be one of a kind is both to be special and to be scarce. In the 2000s, the island fox nearly went extinct. The golden eagle had arrived on the island. Though less unique, they were not less alive. They were just as hungry, but their hunger was not considerate. To be unique is to be scarce. The foxes came to know scarcity. As the eagles consumed fruits, insects, birds, eggs, crabs, lizards, eventually foxes. The foxes died. The eagles did not know their competition had a cost. The islands have not always been visited for such considerate reason. In the 1500s, European explorers arrived on Santa Rosa. They came across a people who were not like them. They ate, they killed, they seized, they evangelized, they left. They should have known their competition had a cost. The island fox was saved by the efforts of conservationists. We must make an effort to think considerately. For those whose culture is unique, whose culture is scarce, whose culture is special.